Ayodhyā is a city defined by its outward splendor, a golden capital at its peak. But inside the palace walls, the crown prince has retreated into a silence that his father, King Dasaratha, cannot penetrate. His attendants describe a physical wasting away. They say the prince has become as lean as a stick. He neglects his daily rites and sits for hours with a dejected countenance, his eyes fixed on nothing. To the king, these are the signs of a terminal melancholy. He watches Rāma reject the kingdom and his relations, fearing his son is overwhelmed by a desire to end his own life. The court is prepared for a warrior prince ready to rule. Instead, they are met with a young man who finds no value in the throne, creating a rift between royal duty and his internal state. This domestic crisis is interrupted by the arrival of sage Vishvamitra. He comes to Ayodhya with an urgent request. He needs Rāma's military skill to defend his ritual sacrifices from a disruption by demons. Dasaratha refuses. He argues that Rāma is too young and too mentally fragile for war. The king sees a son who has lost his mind. The sage sees something else. This chart contrasts two different interpretations of the prince's behavior. While the king identifies a loss of function and despair, Vishvamitra identifies Vairāgya, a state of dispassion. He believes Rāma's confusion is the result of viveka, or discernment. For the sage, Rāma's withdrawal is the beginning of a spiritual awakening. He views the prince's disillusionment as the necessary ground for receiving the truth. Rāma's inner monologue reveals a systematic deconstruction of his world. He has analyzed the permanence of the physical landscape and found it lacking. In this section of the text, Rāma describes the world appearance as a dream. He compares the cycle of life and death to a skillful dancer. His gestures move souls between heaven, hell, and earth. He points to the instability of nature as proof of its unreality. He observes that what was a mountain yesterday is a crater today, and a city becomes an uninhabited wilderness in a matter of days. He applies this same logic to wealth. He views it as a fleeting entity that brings only craving and worry, noting that both the wicked and the virtuous can become wealthy without any change to their character. Even youth is dismissed as a transient state. Rāma describes it as a period consumed by the fire of lust, a stage of life that passes quickly into the physical decay of old age. Rāma's perspective is a logical argument against the world. He has concluded that because these objects change and decay, they cannot provide the soul with any lasting tranquility. This state of paralysis has a famous parallel in the Bhagavad Gītā. Like Rāma, the warrior Arjuna reaches a point where he can no longer act within his social role, forcing a confrontation with his own ignorance. The scholar Radhakrishnan describes this state of sorrow, or vishada, as a requirement for spiritual life. Most avoid these ultimate questions, but Rāma and Arjuna must face them. This text highlights the seeker passing through great tension, detaching from social obligations to face the world alone. It's a transition from a socialized self to individual awareness. This period of darkness serves to strip away the ego's certainty. By the time Vāsiṣṭha is ready to speak, Rāma has been emptied of his former identity, making him ready for the instructions that follow. Rāma makes a final confession to the assembly. He describes himself as being in a state where he is partly caught and partly freed, likening his mind to a tree that has been cut from its roots but has not yet fallen. He asks the sages if there is a state where grief ceases entirely for a person who must live and act within the world. The court remains silent as the weight of the question settles. It is clear that the prince's condition requires the Mokṣopāya, the specific means to liberation. Sage Vāsiṣṭha steps forward to begin the discourse. He accepts Rāma as a student, beginning a dialogue that forms the entirety of the Yoga Vāsiṣṭha. Vāsiṣṭha starts with a statement that challenges the prince's entire perception of reality. He tells Rāma that the world does not exist. It is merely empty space within empty space. Vāsiṣṭha's instructions will not offer the prince comfort. They will offer a dismantling of the world Rāma sees. The upcoming dialogue will prove that the remedy for his dejection is more radical than the prince ever suspected.